Hardwood floor secrets without waterlogging your hardwood floors. We're going to talk about that today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's show is brought to us by housecleaning360.com, which is a 360 view of the perfect home. And did you know that on housecleaning360.com, there are tutors that can come to your house? Now, while this isn't a service for your home, it's a service that happens at your home. So as school lets out, as you get your kids ready for the summer and you get them ready to go back to school to make sure that they're up to speed for the grade they're about to begin, you can have private tutors come to your home and you can find those people, including music teachers that teach piano lessons and guitar lessons and flute lessons and saxophone lessons and all those things on housecleaning360.com. So if you are a music teacher or you are a private tutor, if you're a consultant or a coach and you help people inside their homes, come on over to housecleaning360.com and list your business so that all of the friends in our network can find you. All right, on to today's show, which is from a house cleaner who has this question.
Hi, Angela. I was curious, how do you clean hardwood floors without possibly damaging or making it waterlogged or, too wet? So I'd like to know that. Thanks.
All right, this is a question about hardwood floors. Now, hardwood floors are either something that you love or they're something that you hate. And so once you've mastered the art of hardwood floors, they're not really all that hard. Now, for the most part, there are general lived-in areas on hardwood floors. And so the general lived-in areas are going to need some special attention and special care that the rest of the rooms do not need. And so I don't want you to do a full coverage of all the hardwood floors when only the main areas need the bulk of the extra care. So we have light care and we have heavy duty care. Let me explain how this works. The light care are going to be for areas that are like under tables, underneath sofas, around end tables, and over in the corners of the room where there's no traffic. What we're seeing on those areas is dust. And so we're going to treat those areas for dust and we're going to mop those areas, but we're not going to do heavy duty cleaning there because it doesn't get any traffic. Nobody is in those outer areas. Now, the main living areas where you walk into the house and there's a lot of traffic there. You track in dirt and mud and rain, and the dog comes in from outside and he tracks in muddy paws. Those are high traffic areas. If you have hardwood that goes around your kitchen table, there are going to be food splatters and things that have dripped on the floor. Those are going to be heavy duty areas. And possibly there will be scratching and scraping on the floor where chairs have been scooted in and out at all the different meals of people eating at those dinner tables. All right, another high traffic area is right at the kitchen sink. If you have hardwood in your kitchen area and people wash their hands and then they leave the sink and now they go to look for a hand towel and the water drips on the floor, now you have water drops and stuff. And if there's dirt on the floor already, then that gets stuck into the water and now it turns to like a dirt spot. Also, in front of the refrigerator, lots of times people will go and they put their cup up against the refrigerator, then they pull their cup away and water drips down the side of the fridge and it drips on the floor. That's going to be a high traffic area. If people open the fridge door and they're looking for cream or something for their coffee, oftentimes there will be cream and bits of stuff that they've dropped on the floor below the refrigerator. So that is also a high traffic area. Now, if they have a different space where they have a coffee maker, for example, look for coffee drippings on the sides of the counter, down the edges of the cabinets, and also on the hardwood floor. That's going to be another high traffic area. So for the high traffic areas, we want to treat those differently than we treat the areas on the outskirts of the room, because the outskirts of the room don't get any use at all. So my first suggestion is that you take a dry microfiber mop, and the mop, there's a dry mop, and the dry mop is going to be like your broom. And so you weave it in and out across the floor, and as you weave it in and out, you're doing kind of an S pattern, so you're not retracing your steps, and you're not vacuuming a hardwood floor with a heavy rollered vacuum that's going to scratch the floor. Now, there are lots of vacuums that are made and designed for hardwood floors. And if you have one with a hardwood floor attachment, that's super easy because then you can scoop everything up and you don't have to worry about what happens to the dry mop. But the dry mop is really easy because it has a really wide head on it and you can zip around the hardwood floor, and as soon as you do, you shake the mop, then you can vacuum that part up and you're done. You still have to clean the mop itself, the dry mop, but that's a whole lot less work than vacuuming with a little vacuum head that's this big, especially if time is of the essence and you're doing speed cleaning. All right, now as far as the mop goes, on all of the outer areas, you just clean the floor by dust mopping it. And so there's not a lot that you need unless you want to go back over it with a damp microfiber mop. Now, in the last few years, the market has just been saturated with these amazing flip mops. And they're very cool and they're very easy to use. And you just take the head off at the end of your cleaning, throw that in the washing machine, and you reuse it for your next clean. So you're not dipping a mop inside a mop bucket, and then you pull out that water and you're squeezing it out and reusing that water over and over again to slide over all the different areas of your floor. Because that way you're just spreading dirty water after a couple of rinses of your mop. So the wet microfiber mop is an awesome choice for all of the out surrounding areas where there's not a lot of use. And because those flat mops are so skinny, they can slide underneath the couches and underneath the easy chairs. Oh, they're beautiful things. And they can get in the corners and they can get underneath bookshelves. I mean, I love these things. All right, so now that your floor is basically clean, you want to go back over the high traffic areas. And once the dust mop has been done for the high traffic areas, when you get to this point, you're not redoing an area you've already done. You just picked up the gunk initially. Now you're going to go back and you're going to mop it. For this, I prefer a steam mop. And I prefer a steam mop for this reason. In the last few years, there are steam mops that have been designed and created specifically for hardwood floors. So if you have a dog that slobbers, or you have coffee spills, or you have milk spills, or you have things in those heavy-duty areas, you can throw one of those microfiber mop heads on top of your steamer. You can turn the steam on and it steams your floor and almost dries it instantly so that you don't have lots of standing water on your floor, because that will warp the floor, even the engineered wood. And so you don't want standing water on your floor, but these steam mops are designed for hardwood floors and they are awesome. So for those high traffic areas where you have dog slobber and dirt and grime, just bzzz, and suddenly your floor looks new, it looks shiny, and those high traffic areas are now sanitized. So I'm going to leave links in the show notes in the show more section where you can look at the different products that I'm talking about. And I will have links to the flip mops, the microfiber mops, and also the steamers that I recommend. Now, these are not for commercial use. These are not for commercial buildings, office buildings. These are for homes. So this is residential stuff for homes, for you do it yourself or for a professional cleaner. Alrighty, that's my 2 cents for today. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.